So, Rebecca?
First of all, I want to thank you all for all your prayers and support. It was amazing. And my number one word for this trip was amazing. And this was my team that I went with. I can't remember how many team members. I think there was like 14. And then there's some of our translators too. And it was just special the way we all seemed to bond together. And our first flight was to Florida, and we stayed the night with the family. And then we flew to Ecuador the next day. And as soon as we got there, they had to dress up for the skit to show us, kind of give us an idea of what we would be doing. And so this is the Bucky skit, and they had fun doing that. And the skits are always fun to interact with the kids and just see the kids' reactions. And there was a fight between good Bucky and bad Bucky to see who wins. And just being able to worship and sing with the kids, memorize verses with the kids, even though you're not sure what you're memorizing because it's all in Spanish. And I was put on craft team for the whole trip, but it was a lot of fun. And just, you learn right along with the kids, the crafts, God is eternal. And it helped you realize that in your own life, to realize that God is eternal. And he does love you, just like he loves these kids too. And we did a lot more skits too, and I was in some of them. I didn't ever play a big role, because I'm not that good at acting, but And this is a special picture for me because it was one of those days where our craft team forgot all of our supplies back at the church. And we had to come up quick with an idea to do with these kids. And so the girl that's in the picture with me, she came up with the idea, since the lesson was about the Holy Spirit, to do the story of Samuel with the kids. So we took the kids and interacted with them and did the story of Samuel, and it was really special and a lot of fun. And we also there was a bus driver that drove us, and he was amazing because, when he drove us, then he would come and help us with crafts all the time. Right when we needed it, he was right there to help us. And this is my craft team. I have 2 team members on my team and 1 translator. And it's just, at the first beginning of this week, I had no idea I would develop these, deeper relationships with my team members and the translators. I didn't know that I would become friends like that. And this was the house we stayed at. It was a family, an older couple, and they had a room for the girls and the guys, and we were able to meet inside their house. And this was the view of the mountains. It was really pretty. And this is all in the capital of Ecuador, so it's in Quito, and it's in the mountains, so it can get down to I'd say in the lower 50s at night, or 40s. And after our week of doing 2 programs, one in the morning, one at night, the whole week, at the end of the week we went to see a cathedral and just go up all in these different little spaces way up on the tower parts. You could see the whole city from up there. And then we also went to see the equator, and that was a lot of fun too. And then we traveled it was about 2 hours to the next town we were going to do the next week, which is in Otavalo. It's still in the mountains, and we got to stay in this hotel. And we also had 2 programs, one in the morning, one at night. And when we got there, we had a program right away at night. And so it was all outdoors, so it worked well with the painting. And this is the view from the balcony in the hotel. You can see all of Otavalo. And this is also a picture that reminds me because for going to Otavalo, we were at the church that we were planning on going to had just canceled out on us. And so they got a church for us, and they would only have about 10 kids. So we have to let people know. So the church ladies went around telling people in the town, and then they took the next step and went to a meeting, and they went to the mayor and asked them if they could take a car with a speaker and drive it around. And so he let them, and they drove it all around. There was kids that came an hour away to come to the program. So we had over 300 kids on that week. And we also had games, and there was story teams for the kids. It'd be funny because they come in to crafts and they'd all be wild and crazy, and they'd be telling you all about what they had just learned at the other place. And then at the end of that week, we took an 8-hour bus ride to Same, which is by the coast, so it's very much warmer and humid there. And we went whale watching. And we saw some blue-footed boobies, which is pretty cool. I've always heard of them, but never seen them. And this is about as good as a picture you're going to get of a whale. Some saw them jumping out of the water, but I had so much water spraying in my face, you couldn't tell. And the third week was camp week. So these are the cabins we stayed in. And I heard that camp week is always the funnest week. So I was kind of wondering, because I've never been to camp before, and I'm helping. And when we got there, we all prepped for making bracelets for the crafts and flags and all the crafts we would need for that week, so we didn't have to do any during the day. And this was during camp. We had obstacle courses. You could earn points for your team, and I was on Team Verde, which is green. And we had a lot of fun, and you always, in the mornings and different times of the day, our team leader, Micah, would always blow his whistle. So you'd have to run out of your cabin. No matter what you're doing, you have to run and get in line. And some had been taking showers, so they'd be running out with their towel or whatever. They'd have to get out there. It was called the Olympics, so they would be doing all types of games. And this was my team. And then every night we were able to go to the beach, which was a lot of fun. And we'd also have whistles to run out of the water. And then after you would shower off, he'd have another whistle to line up. So you'd have to do things really quickly. And this is a little girl that made friends with me. Her name's Michaela, and she's 5 years old. And she would always want to play tag. She had a certain word for it, but I can't remember when she'd say tag you're it. But it was really fun to play with her. And this is my team for craft. And our translator, he wasn't looking for the picture. And we had a soccer tournament, which was a lot of fun for the kids, for some kids. Some kids just hated soccer, but they had to play anyways. And then one of the days we had water games, which was a lot of fun because I have a certain friend who loves to get me wet all the time. And we bounce the balloon, do sponges in water. And this little girl, she would come up and then she'd just sit by me or say hi and hug me. And then, so we had to take a picture, of course. And this is my whole team all together. We had a really fun group. They weren't that enthusiastic of a group, but they were a lot of fun. And then 2 of our helpers on our team had everybody dress up because we were supposed to cheer on our team. So you'd have to be screaming, cheering, and you have to be dressed up and all these things. And then at the end, they would have a medal for whoever team won. The kids were all super excited about that. And this is a girl, Sarah E., and she made friends with me. Just it was one of those days, and she's like, "Hi, Becca," because she had just heard my name. All of a sudden, she was like, "Hi," and so the days after that, we became friends. And this is my friend who loves to get me wet all the time. Her name's Emily. And we're also doing crafts. We had a building, so we didn't have to be outside in the heat as the game team did. And some of the kids would get into the skit bag and put on props. And this is a girl named Gabby. She's 13 years old. And it was just weird because at the beginning of the week, she was super shy. And I went out and I just sat by her and said, "Hi, how are you?" in Spanish because I didn't know if she knew English or not. And then one of the days I asked her, I was like, "Do you know English?" She's like, "Yeah, I know a little." And so we started talking some more, and at the end of the week it was just amazing because she was all super shy, and at the end of the week she was just smiling and so happy. And these were 2 of the girls. One's the translator, and we just made friends really close. Then at the end of the week, we had a big bonfire to say goodbye to the kids, and we had s'mores, and you just take a stick, peel it off, get a marshmallow, which I've never done that before, but it was fun. And then flying home, I just decided to take pictures of my sleeping team members. And it's good to be home. I learned a lot on the trip, just through the lessons I was teaching. And the girl that's sitting beside me, she was a wonderful teacher and helped me speak in front of the kids because I get super nervous and I freeze up and don't know what to say. And she was always there to encourage me and help me. And God blessed me with some amazing friends on that trip. Thank you.